Alright, so I watched an anime recently called Tasuuketsu. Wow, this was trash. And in such a bizarre way too. It's strange how this even exists. As if some people came together and said, what are the worst parts of a good anime? And then laughed at whatever made them actually good. This train wreck starts in episode 1 already. The beginning is innocent enough. A boring, typical anime school, nothing out of the ordinary. Cliché dialogue, cliché relationships, clichés. Then the actual interesting part starts and the main character goes, Adoy, shucks, I didn't even notice the entire city was gone overnight with bodies piled up in the streets. Following it was his valiant attempt to rescue his best friend by lightly tapping the glass. Truly, a hero of our time. He would not find a way out of an open closet. Once he makes it to school, the actual setup for this anime begins. Happens, whatever. Everyone is dead, people get asked a question, and the majority dies. Sounds promising, right? Murders, game for survival, yada yada yada. But that's not all. Apparently there are tiny envelopes which bestow rights upon people, such as an ability to make guns with infinite bullets, or mind control ability to refuse anything. The list goes on. Cheesy and silly, but hey, whatever, superpowers can make things like this more interesting. Of course, where would we be without an obnoxious scene between an attractive nice girl and the dishwater main character? Speaking in what feels so generic it might as well be AI generated. Somehow saying nothing and taking up an inordinate amount of time. These kids should become politicians. After which, we have a sequence which is best described as a loogie to the face of a viewer. Just a big old gobble of snot and saliva, unceremoniously thrown right in the face. A young kid character is threatened by a deranged guy with a gun. The two have an altercation and there is a cut. Followed up by someone now running away from the gunman. Shooting up at school is apparently not a US monopoly. So, the kids fight the gunman and barely get away in a car. It all sounds pretty cool, right? You've got violence, deadly weapons, terrified kids. It all sounds wonderful. Only it takes a grand total of 20 seconds in what is essentially a slideshow. I wouldn't have that much of a problem with this if we didn't just waste a quarter of an episode on the garbage what was done in about 5 million other anime before this. But somehow this was done worse than those millions. But wait, there's more. We didn't have enough obnoxiousness. We need to overdo the clichés. There wasn't enough dialogue, which was copy-pasted from some worse than average romance anime. Alright, so this would be over and all, but the first episode decided to end on the biggest cliffhanger one could think of, while somehow still being very predictable. The main character dies. Oh no, generic McGenericson, we hardly knew you. Some say, we never will. I was ready to throw in the towel, but I decided that anyone can have a rocky start. Anyone can make mistakes. And I was right, episode 2 was a lot better. Got some not very well delivered expositions, twists, revelations about the offhand comments earlier, and some more sloppy pacing. If it sounds like I'm still negative, then you are right. It's just that the level went up high enough to actually enjoy something. Also, just have to mention, the most impactful superpowers are done by sacrificing the body part, and this dude lost his dick. It's kind of morbid, kind of hilarious, and kinda cool. Also explains the earlier scene of his getting kicked in the balls, because there were none, so he didn't react. Pretty sure this reveal alone made me hopeful for a second that there is actually gonna be something interesting here. But wait, there is more. Episode 3 comes along, and after watching it about 10 minutes earlier, I couldn't even be bothered to finish the damn thing or remember what exactly happened. Somebody once explained that there is a rule when it comes to anime, which is known as a 4-episode rule, meaning that most anime series deserve at least 4 episodes of attention, and whatever major developments are there to review are likely to appear by then, meaning what comes after it is largely the same level of care and quality, so one would know what to expect. I can't summon the enthusiasm for this. I sometimes love to waste time on utter garbage. The Insect Island anime movie is a great example, or those old videos in Team Fortress 2 where nothing makes sense. Or YouTube poop. Those can be funny, can be entertaining, but let's be honest, generally they are all terrible. This was just awful. It's like whenever there is a single good thing happening, something interesting or new or unique or even a well-executed overdone cliché, 3 other things come along and ruin it. Hell, I can't even give an example. The teacher is believed to be a traitor to the group. So he's confronted by the main character, who is now alive, by the way. Don't ask, there's a stupid logic to the questions, which makes no actual sense. So there's a teacher, his crony holding the kid, and the main character. This crony seems to be a big guy, yet proves to be both deaf and a complete pushover. Another kid assaults him from behind, and everyone runs away. So far it's bad, but at least it's entertaining. Crony then proceeds to manifest into reality a Yu-Gi-Oh card made by a grade schooler, and tells it to attack the main character. Q, the slowest chase I've seen since I've played ZVZ and had an enemy queen chase my overlord. Everything is seemingly lost, but then the dead friend from episode 2 pops out of nowhere and one-shots the deformed monster, all the while spouting one-liners. Then suddenly there's a cut to our characters fighting slightly less shitty-looking monsters. This time it's a middle schooler's attempt at drawing a knight, which floats, and a convenient direction indicator in their helmets. Everything is seemingly lost, but then a dead whoever shows up and defends the girl from the monsters, while a guy with a gun shoots the armored metal beasts doing absolutely nothing. Then, slowly, after rolling underneath it, a propane tank or something stays there for about 10 seconds longer than it should, until finally Mr. Gun decides to shoot it, conveniently turning away from a giant explosion somehow caused by this, taking 0 damage whatsoever. I'm sure if I had a conveniently placed red barrel, they'd use that. So, I'm not gonna bother pointing out why this whole scenario is bad storytelling, pacing, or whatever. I'm just gonna say that I'm sad. I heard about an anime about a murder game, and I got excited. Perhaps I just want to kill people, perhaps I just want to see people going crazy. Or perhaps I just think it's entertaining setup, which naturally leads itself into a myriad different directions with a lot of possible depth. Whatever is the case, this was a disappointment, and a letdown among so many in my sad, pathetic life. I suppose the one positive I can say about it is the sheer volume of vitriol it got out of me. It was fun to hate and complain about it. I had an upsetting development recently, and this helped me calm down a bit, which is pretty nice.